So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Denise and the Port Washington Library for supporting these programs. The emergency pandemic resources programs have all been successful and they have all helped people in moving forward. I've received some emails and text messages from people stating that it's actually really helped them just like get on track and keep moving forward. And that's what we have to do. The unemployment funding is coming to an end for a lot of people. And then in addition to that, we have the emergency, the $300 additional dollars a week on the 5th of September. That is coming to an end as well. So we really need to gear up and get moving. And so hopefully with this class, again, it'll inspire some enthusiasm and some additional opportunities. So Denise, thank you. And thank you to the Port Washington Library and our IT support as always. My name is Maria Fry. I'm president and founder of Executive Consultants of New York Corporation and also the ECNY Foundation and also careermapli.org. And basically what we do is we help people get back to work. So whether you're looking for a side hustle, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, or you're looking for full-time, part-time employment, we help with all of that stuff. So we're really excited to be here again. We've been working with the Port Washington Library for almost 10 years, a long time. So very exciting. And let me see here. I see in the chat, is there any way to get a recording of the previous workshops? I believe some of the workshops, I think that was Louise, I'm not really sure, will be on the YouTube channel for the libraries. If you look at the library's YouTube channel, you'll see some of them there.
Maria,
okay. Yes.
The only one that we recorded that's posted is week 1.
Oh, good.
Because Prepare for Your Job Search was more, there were people that had like personal,
right.
It was more like but the week 3, week 3, leveraging your network and LinkedIn for your job search. You had done a LinkedIn workshop previously
so
that
on
is
there
posted.
also. Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to let people know that.
Thank you. So
I
definitely
have a question
check
about
out
week 1.
I'm sorry?
I wanted to ask a question. Week 1 was the only session I missed. And I guess the question would go either to Denise and or Maria. Was that where we went over what programs were ending on what days? Was it more about the calendar and for those of us who are collecting?
Yes. Yep. That's where we covered all of that. We also had an attorney on the call. We had a credit repair individual on the call. We had a lot of information, and you can also find some of that information on our website under the resources tab. It is an open tab. It's the only one you don't need a password for. So if you go to ECNYcorp.com and you click on resources, the very first one says pandemic emergency resources. And once you click on that, you'll have access to some of this information. Not everything is up there yet. We're waiting to get through the next program after this, which is Monday. And then we're going to just add everything up there for you. Okay.
But the actual program that we gave on Monday evening, August 2nd, is posted on the library's YouTube channel.
Perfect.
So best of both worlds. Thank you.
And you get that through, just go on to the Port Washington Library's homepage, scroll down to the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fantastic. So we are good to go. So we are going to start the program. Thank you again, Denise. Thank you, everyone, for this program. And I'm going to share my screen with you guys right now. So can everybody see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to get started. So first, before we do anything here, I would like to hear from you guys. How many of you here, and I guess let me expand this so I can see everyone. Does anyone here have a side hustle that they'd like to share? No one has a side hustle? I don't believe it for a second.
I'm thinking about trying to sell a couple of things that I don't need anymore.
Okay, good, because they're going to talk about eBay. That's one for sure. Absolutely. Anyone else? Any other side hustles?
I've been selling on Facebook Marketplace and cleaning out closets.
Very cool, Pat. I love that. Absolutely. And you know something, a lot of it is local too. So you know what? That makes it even easier. But you know, you can also do eBay local. Mm-hmm. So that's something that you can utilize as well. Anyone else? Any other side hustles?
I'm working on starting up selling some art and like custom made bags and stuff. on like
Very
Etsy
cool,
and
Kim.
farmers markets.
Etsy, absolutely. And you know what? Don't forget eBay because they have a lot of stuff too. They actually have a whole section just for all that, like homemade, and I guess they're trying to compete with Etsy just a little bit, which is okay. Competition is good. We like competition. Anyone else? Anything else?
Maria, I work privately out of my home. I'm a speech pathologist.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you do that via Zoom?
Actually, I have, since I'm vaccinated now, what I do is I treat kids out of a porch, a very airy porch I have at the back of my house.
Very nice. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Again, getting that whole connectivity going again. That's exciting for, I think, all of us. Very cool, Rebecca. Thank you. Anyone else doing anything unique? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this down here and I'm going to pull you guys over to the side. So we are talking today, as we mentioned before, this is class 4 and it is Get Your Side Hustle On. So fact, there are so many good additional income opportunities available, with some even paying more than many day jobs. I cannot tell you how many people have taken on consulting gigs and then realized how much money they can actually make. Okay, if we can mute ourselves, please, just to make sure that we don't have any background sound so everybody can hear what's going on, that would be great. Thank you. All right, so what is a side hustle? Basically, it is extra income. So any type of employment undertaken in addition to one's full-time job, or if it's just something that you're using as a to B until you find that career job, that's, again, generally freelance, piecework in nature, providing a supplemental income, could be something a person is passionate about. I know that Kim mentioned art, you know, some of the art stuff and some of the bags that she created, you know, that is phenomenal. And it's amazing too, because like I mentioned before, a lot of people do start off with this side hustle opportunity and it turns into like a full-time gig. All it takes is the eye of the right person or the right people. And, you know, it's amazing what can happen. So one of the things, believe it or not, my side hustle was exactly what I do now. It started off just as an idea. It was a concept, and then it just blew up into a company, and it's very exciting to be able to do this. So again, something that you're passionate about, I think that's really important. I think it also reduces stress. Anybody here that needs to reduce stress? Show hands. Okay. So I think that's pretty much everyone at this point right now. A job worked in order to make ends meet, basically A to B, as I mentioned before. We like to say A to B until you find your C, which is your career job. So that's something that you can think about as well. And you know what? Here's the other thing also. A side hustle can also be very different than what it is that we're going to cover here tonight. What we're going to cover here is a little bit more creative than just finding that part-time job. A lot of people feel that, you know, a part-time job is a side hustle, and yes, it absolutely is. But this is very different. Guys, if we can just mute ourselves because I hear feedback. Thank you. Okay. So as I was saying before, a lot of people are looking for that part-time opportunity. It can be a side hustle, but, you know, we are looking at the more creative side of it, a little bit different than finding a part-time job at, let's say, a Starbucks or something like that, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, but we're going to be a little bit more creative tonight in what we're talking about. So moving on to the next slide. So cha-ching, depending on what you choose to do and how much time you're willing to put into it is basically what you're going to get out of it. So that's something that we want to think about as well. The other thing is, if you are working a full-time job and you're looking for that side hustle, you want to make sure that the side hustle is not going to suffer because you don't have enough time to put into it 100%. I really do believe that whatever it is that you do, and I believe it's in one of the slides here as well coming up, if you're putting any effort into it, if you're doing anything, you should put 100% in every single thing that you do, because again, that will determine the success. You can make anywhere from $50, you know, extra a week to $2,000 per month. You could do as much or as little as you want. And again, it depends on what it is that you choose to do. So a few things to think about before you begin your hustle. So whichever side hustle or hustles, because you can have more than one, that you choose to do, make sure that you're putting in, as we mentioned before, 100%. It's not an option. Plus, this could lead to greater opportunities. Some people call their side hustle until all of a sudden they're hired full time. And that has happened to many people that I've worked with in the past. They're like, oh, I just started like a consulting gig and, it is what it is for now. And all of a sudden, the next thing you know, they're like, I need to negotiate, like an annual compensation with them because now it is turning into a lot bigger of an opportunity than it was before. That's something to think about as well. So whatever you are doing, again, put 100% effort and show your best side. The other thing is focus on finding opportunities that you're already good at or enjoy. It makes it a lot easier, especially if you are looking for a full-time job at the same time. Something to think about there. We want to make sure that whatever it is that we're looking for, it's not too stressful. It's not going to take up too much of your mind, worrying about, is this going to work out? Do I know how to do this? Can I do this? A side hustle is something basically that you can just jump into immediately. Okay, so it's something that, you might have to learn how to work certain parts of it, the logistics of it. But at the end of everything, I think that it should be something that you enjoy because there is a lot that you can do. And also, I think that you also put your best foot forward and people notice that you're enjoying it, thus equaling, maybe additional opportunities in the future. So the other thing is the more time you commit to your side hustle, the less time you have to focus on finding a full-time job. So if your main focus is to find a full-time job, decide in advance how much time you want to put into that side hustle. You could say, okay, I'm only going to do 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, whatever it is, whatever you decide, just make sure that you're not taking away from the ultimate goal, which is to become fully employed and being able to support yourself truly. And the side hustles that pay more require more time and effort. The opposite is also true. Sometimes people will say to me like, well, I'm going to take a side hustle. I'm going to do this contract. And I'm like, well, tell me about it. And when they go into it, it's so in depth and it's so much work and it's just so much that I always say to them, like, okay, well, is it paying you enough? Because you're not really going to be able to focus on finding a full-time job if you're taking that on. So the ones that pay more are usually the ones that take a lot more effort, a lot more time. And again, you're taking that time away from finding a full-time job. If you're looking to do this in addition to your full-time job, then make sure again that you're giving yourself a little bit of breathing room in between as well. Because people will say, oh, well, I only work 40 hours a week. Well, 40 hours a week is a lot. And then, if you have a family, if you have other responsibilities, if other things are going on, think about those as well, because all of that will play a role in how much time you have that you can give towards your side hustle. Okay, so a few things to think about before you begin. No more than 3 side hustles at a time, or they may all suffer. Not just one of them, most likely all of them will suffer. Unless you're looking for side hustles and that's it. That's what you want to do full time. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you like diversity, if you're creative in nature, if you just like to pivot and do a whole bunch of different things, absolutely, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you are looking for a full-time job, make sure again that no more than 3 side hustles at a time, because it really does get intense. And again, unless they're very, they're just short stints, they're not anything too long, they're not anything you have to commit to for too long, and they don't take up a lot of the time. So that's something to think about there. Not all side hustles are glamorous, but the least attractive side hustles often pay the most. So just an example of that, one of my neighbors was telling me that their son wanted to make some money. So he was talking to another neighbor, and the neighbor basically said that they were sick and tired of cleaning up after the dog in the backyard. So they now pay the neighbor's son to do that. And you know what? He's making some good money. So he's happy with that. So again, be careful and think about that as well. The non-glamorous ones usually do pay the better money. The other one is if you come across a side hustle that says get rich quick, I want you to run in the opposite direction. Okay, put your sneakers on and run. It's likely not true and a scam. Be very careful with that. Pyramids, things like that. I personally don't get involved in things like that. I think that It's just, you got to be careful. And if it says that you have to invest any money, well, you know what? Not for nothing, but you're here to make money. You're not here to spend money. So that's not what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're not talking about anything that you're going to have to invest in and again, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, if you have done that, if you're doing that now, nothing wrong with that, but just make sure that you understand that anything that says that you're going to get rich really quick, I've never found that. I've never seen that. So be very careful and be committed. The biggest mistake you will make is giving up on your side hustle too early. Sometimes it does take a little bit of effort. Just because it's not your forever job also doesn't mean anything. It's not taking away from you. And anything that's worth something takes effort. That's something we also have to remember. Someone had actually asked me the other day, they said, well, if I take on a side hustle or a part-time job or a side job or whatever it is, should I put it on my resume? And I'm like, well, I guess it depends on what it is. And I think that, considering everything that's happening today, understand this, it is more acceptable today than ever before to have gaps in employment. But the people that often are landing faster are the people that have something in there that can show that you're active, you're keeping yourself busy. So consider putting that in there. And if they ask you, well, what do you mean you were doing X, Y, and Z? What do you mean you were selling on eBay? What do you mean? Well, you know what? I have to support my family. I need some extra money. And so I basically am doing a little eBay on the side to do so. I give it 110%, just like I'm going to give your organization. What else can you tell me about the job? Don't ever feel ashamed of what it is that you're doing, as long as it's legal. I have to say that, putting that little disclaimer in there, because there's nothing wrong with doing a side job until you find your forever or your career job. So again, be committed. People want to see that you're committed, and don't be ashamed of what it is that you're doing, again, unless it's illegal. Okay. So the first one we're going to talk about is TaskRabbit. This actually has been really great for quite a few of the people that I've worked with. They talk about, I'm going to read to you, this is basically off of their website. Flexible work at your fingertips, find local jobs that fit your skills and schedule. With TaskRabbit, you have the freedom and support to be your own boss. So what's really cool about TaskRabbit is that you can do simple things. I mean, as simple as picking up somebody's dry cleaning. And it can be very, very local. It can literally be people in your community that are just looking for something to be done. They need their groceries picked up. They need someone to walk their dog. I mean, it can be the simplest tasks, and people are paying for that. So what's really cool about this is that in between job searching, I have a lot of people that do take on 1 or 2 or 3. And because usually these are like one-time gigs, and they could be more, they could be repeat opportunities as well. But one of the things that you have to think about is you could take on as much as you want. You can take on as many opportunities as you want. And the great thing is it can be very, very local, or you can kind of expand the area of which you're willing to work. So be your own boss, work how and when you want. They offer services in over 50 categories, and you can basically set a flexible schedule and work area. As we mentioned before, you can set your own rates. You keep 100% of what you charge plus tips. You invoice and get paid directly through their secure payment system. And you can also grow your business. So if they like you and you did a great job, or you walked the dog and everything was great, or, whatever the case may be, people can recommend you also. You can ask for those testimonials, which is fantastic, especially if it's a very local opportunity that you're taking on. They connect you with clients in your area and ways to market yourself so you can focus on what you do best. And I want to share that screen with you so you can take a look and see. Oh, that's my screen there. Come on. All right. So let's see why it is not showing up here. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. I got to move you guys around. So, all right. So can you see TaskRabbit here? Yes, no, maybe. If no one speaks, I won't know. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Thanks, David. So basically, look at all the areas in which you can provide services in. So Look at all this stuff. Featured tasks, delivery service, home repairs, handyman, moving services, waiting in line. Waiting in line, people. You can get paid for waiting in line. Does anyone want to wait in line? Maybe at the DMV, perhaps? Who knows? Yard work, personal assistance, spring cleaning, heavy lifting, help moving, research, office administration. I'm pretty confident that there are people on this call that would love some of this stuff over here. There's so many different things. Then you can get more technical also. They have technical things, even furniture assembly, mounting and installation of TVs, cleaning, shopping and deliveries, office services. Look at this. Baby prep, virtual and online tasks, contactless tasks. So again, let's say they need something picked up from the post office or whatever the case may be. There are so many different things. Parties and event planning. I mean, there's just so many different things that you can do. And the great thing is, again, it's as big or as little as you want it to be. So I wanted to show you the website because it's very simple to create an account and to just get going. And then you decide, but look at some of this stuff, baby proofing. I mean, anything. You can help people with cleaning out their closets. It is the most amazing thing. So the fact that people in the community are looking for things like this, I absolutely love it. And again, sign up, log in. It is very simple. You have so many different things that you can do. And again, it really just runs the gamut. Look at this stuff. I mean, I just can't believe it. Somebody will pay you to wait in line. This is actually a service I will probably use. So right over here, love that. We talked about closet organization, office administration. You know, this is something for someone that's really organized, someone that maybe has worked in an office before. This is a great way to start a side hustle that could turn into a permanent opportunity. If they really like you, if you're doing some work for them, you could easily, make this into or turn this into something that is more substantial. And again, because you are kind of putting your own price tag on what it is that your time is worth and what it is that you can do, I think it's endless. I mean, the opportunities here are endless. So has anyone here ever used TaskRabbit? Has anyone here ever heard of it before this? Don't be afraid to speak. I don't bite.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you like about it? Anyone? No? You can't be afraid. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, okay. I thought somebody wanted to speak. Pat, do you want to speak?
I'm pressing all the wrong buttons.
Oh, no, don't worry about the buttons. Don't worry. It's okay.
No, it sounds good because it's flexible and you pick your strong points.
Absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, what we saw here also is really, I actually had, I had a student in one of my programs and he lived on this. He lived on this because he was also a single dad. And so he had to work around his daughter's schedule. And he said, you know what? He's like, this is like the best thing in the world for me. He's like, I could choose what I want to do every single day. I could choose how far away I want to work or, if I want to drive my car, if it's something I want to walk to. That's the other thing also. If you don't have a vehicle or, maybe, whatever the situation is, you can also take very, very local opportunities and you can just walk. And so it makes it really simple and fantastic. And the fact that they have some of these things here, I'm really just, wow, I love this. So TaskRabbit, check it out. It is definitely something to look into and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So we're going to go back to the slideshow and all right. Okay, so can you see TaskRabbit? You see the PowerPoint again, guys?
Yes.
Okay, great. So here are some things here. You can get paid for tasks as some of the featured tasks. And I have the links in here too. Again, this is going to be on our website. So you can just pretty much log in and just click on the different things. Handyman, moving services, yard work, furniture assembly, mounting and installation, cleaning, shopping, delivery, shopping and delivery, office services. You know, the office services thing, I keep going back to that because it really is just a simple thing. All right. And I hear myself again. So for some reason, I'm not sure who's got the feedback there, but please mute yourself if you hear it. Parties and events, virtual, online tasks, baby prep, contactless. I know I'm reading upside down, backwards, I should say. Contactless tasks again. So, you know, if you're worried about having contact with someone, I got to tell you something. I'm the biggest germaphobe. I actually have a massive thing of Lysol and I'm the only one in the room. Haha. So with that being said, this is fantastic for you guys to also use maybe in the future, but you can definitely get paid for these tasks. I love the fact that you basically get to keep the money for yourself and also the tips. I like the fact that you get to name your price. That is fantastic too. And I also like the fact that, you know what, this can grow for you. This can turn into a full-time opportunity depending on what you take on, especially any office related stuff, business related stuff. You know, people don't realize what they need until, you know, you're right there and you're doing it for them. And then they realize how simple it is because you're doing it and you're doing it effectively. And that's how some full-time opportunities come around as well. So Uber and Uber Eats, this over here is, you know, a lot of people will say to me, they're like, well, I really don't know about that. You could work on your own schedule. Again, you can deliver for a few hours in the morning or at night or just on the weekends. It's up to you. You are also your own boss and you can choose when and how much you work. You can choose your wheels depending on the rules in your city. You may be able to deliver with your car, your bike, a scooter. I will say this. So the Uber Eats, I think I would probably, if I had to choose one, I would do Uber Eats over Uber. I really, number one, I don't like strange people in my car. That's a no-no for me. And I think that, you know, just be careful, be safe. That I think is really important. I know they, you know, they screen everyone and all that stuff. But again, you know, safety is paramount, whatever it is you decide to do. So with Uber, one of the great things also is depending on your city, they have a lot of different things that they can help you with to create a bigger or a better business for yourself. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys is I wanted to just state this really quick. If you live in the New York City area, as of April 1st, 2019, they are not accepting new for hire vehicle driver signups in New York City due to part to the new TLC regulations. However, they could be changing soon. So I don't know exactly. I wasn't able to find any additional information and I did reach out, but unfortunately right now that's how it is. However, you can create an account to join the wait list to drive with Uber in New York City and consider other ways to earn with, as we mentioned before, Uber Eats or driving with Uber outside of the 5 boroughs. The thing is, again, here's the thing about a side hustle. You want to keep it as inexpensive as it relates to cost for you as possible. If you're working too far away from home, I think it defeats the whole entire purpose of making money because you're going to spend money in gas, money in getting there, money in time and effort and everything else. So that's something that you want to think about. The other great thing is, you know, there are a lot of opportunities, and this is outside of Uber, of course, that you can do remotely now. You know, so many things have gone on to be just online resources, online, you know, assisting with different things, online, even someone just in the chat box. It was so funny because somebody asked me the other day, like, oh, if you're ever looking to hire someone to man your chat box, I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. You know what? And come to think of it, I don't ever block everyone. So you guys can speak if you want to speak. If you want to ask a question, I'd rather you ask a question live because I don't want to keep my eyes on the chat box 24/7 and that, you know, I'm always online anyway and teaching these classes. So sometimes too many questions, I don't get a chance to get to them because they're just, you know, mounting up, but definitely there are so many different things that you can do. And it's funny because I looked at the chat box and I saw 10 and I was like, okay, maybe I would hire someone to do that. We'll see. All right. So this is a biggie over here. So road to opportunity. So consulting based on your skill sets. Not only is consulting based on your skill sets viable 100%, but it can turn into a permanent and full-time opportunity. Does anyone here do any kind of consulting?
No.
Yes, I heard a yes. Yes, maybe no.
And
Okay, David, tell me about your consulting a little. Hello? Okay. So consulting, basically that's all my company does. We are one big, massive consulting firm. That's it. Actually not so big and massive, but we all do consulting work across the board. And basically we do a lot of different things. We do workshops, we do training, we have private clients one-on-one, we consult for government agencies, educational institutions, a whole bunch of different things. And once you figure out what it is that you want to do full-time, I'm sorry, not even full-time, consulting wise, you can absolutely do as much of it as you want. The thing is, again, if you want to make consulting your full-time gig, you absolutely can. This is a great way to start with it because, again, you're using your skill sets, you're using the gifts that you have and basically your knowledge to create business and to create business for yourself. So what's really cool about it, though, is that there are a lot of companies, and I'm moving you guys to the other side here, such as Upwork. Has anyone ever utilized Upwork? So Upwork, this is basically right off their website. Find great work. Meet clients you're excited to work with and take your career or business to new heights. This is absolutely true. It is amazing to me to see things like Upwork and the next one we're going to talk about, and finding opportunities, finding consulting work through these channels are amazing. We're actually going to go onto the website in a second, and I'm going to show you all the different areas that you can consult in. It's fantastic. Also, again, if you are going to go to the website, you will see down here, I put their link, so you can grab that and basically take away. And here we go. So Upwork, development and IT, design and creative, finance and accounting, admin and customer support, engineering, architecture, legal, sales, marketing, writing and translation. I mean, they have over 100 additional expertise areas. So are there any individuals here on the call tonight that fall into any of these categories here?
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, if no one answers, I'm going to start picking on people because I know some of the people on the call, and I know that this is definitely something that would work for you. It really is an amazing thing to have so many industries and to have so many expertise areas and even small, very niche specific areas. It is amazing. It is a great way for you to start that side business. If you wanted to be a consultant your whole entire career, or maybe at this particular time in your career, you want to be able to just work from home. You're a little concerned about what's going on out there. You really want to start your own deal. You want to start doing work for yourself. This is a great way to see if you're going to like it. Consulting is not for everyone. Consulting is, I like to call it very pivotal work because you're constantly moving in a whole bunch of different directions. You know, your clients don't all want things done the same way at the same time. They want things the way they want them. And so sometimes you have to really put many different hats on and think about things very differently as well. So if you are thinking about starting a consulting business, more power to you. I love it. I came from a corporate background where we worked you get paid a base salary. It was a great compensation, great, every single year we used to get stock options and a whole bunch of other benefits. But you know what? It's not what I have now. And back then, I never would have thought for a second. I would have said, no way, I can't handle that. I need to know. I need everything to be structured. But there is something really awesome about consulting work. One of the things is that you can kind of choose and pick what it is that you want to do. You don't have to take every contract that comes your way. And as you become busier and busier, it becomes even easier to turn things away that you don't want to do. So then you end up doing more of what you love to do and what you're great at doing. So Upwork really is pretty cool. So I'm going to share with you guys their website. Okay. All right. So can you see Upwork's website here? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
Yes.
great. So right over here, what's really cool about it is, there are so many different things that they do. And as you go further down, you can also get testimonials on people that are doing, this person's an independent web developer. This one is a director of strategic marketing. And not only do they hire people, but it's also where people go to start their own businesses. But look at this. This is what's really cool about it. They break everything down into top skills, trending skills, top skills in the US. They do have, this is, international. So there is, the project catalog, but the top skills in the US, look at this. How awesome is that? And what's really very interesting to me? What's very interesting to me is the fact that obviously it's going to change from state to state, but I think that this is amazing to be able to do these things from home, to be able to do these things on a consulting basis. It really is a fantastic way to figure out, do I want to do this on a permanent basis? Am I comfortable with the way that I get paid? I think that, so one of the things, we're going to talk about Upwork, and then we're going to talk about another freelance site as well. But one of the things that you have to understand is that each one of them pays differently. So depending on, it could be the contract or it could be the site that you use, you get paid differently. You're not going to get paid on a weekly basis with some of these. Of course, with things like TaskRabbit, it's pretty much task driven. Once the task is over and done with, you get paid. That's it. But with consulting work like this, it may not be that way. So that's something to think about also. For some people, they're like, not for me, Maria. I need to get paid every single week or every 2 weeks or whatever it is that I'm used to. However, look at this. It is 100% viable. There are so many different opportunities. And the fact that you have so many different things, the trending skills, look at this. HR consulting, Microsoft. Look at all this stuff. This is amazing. And it's very diverse too. And this is just a bit, this is like a small touch of what it is that they have. Look at this, admin and customer support. Look at all these different things. This is how you would be seen as well, by the way. So projects. And the other thing also is they have here, they have projects that need to get done ASAP. Those are the ones that are easiest for you to negotiate compensation on. People that may need you like ASAP, or they need your skill set ASAP. This is fantastic because, again, it's working, they have a budget, but at the same time, if they need something done yesterday, then you can ask for a little bit more money. And it's the same thing with TaskRabbit also, if you're doing just a one-time task. But imagine being able to look at, there is just so much stuff in here, and find work.
Is there editorial work to do editing?
Absolutely. I saw it the other day. You know what? They changed their website a little bit. So I'm trying to find the page where it shows, here we go, skills that you need. Look at this. Editor.
Oh, great.
Look at that. Perfect, just for you. Okay. So there is a lot of stuff that you could do. Look at this. I love this. And then cross-functional roles, social media marketers, Photoshop writers, blog writers, creative writers. I love the fact that they have it broken out to so many different areas, because it is more particular and specific to what it is that maybe you enjoy doing. So again, as we mentioned before at the beginning of the class, if you're going to do a task, if you're going to take on a contract or something, it might as well be something that you love. That side hustle should not be something that completely stresses you out. Do something that you love. With all of this, look at this. Etsy administration specialist.
Wow.
Right, exactly. So they are very particular. Pitch deck writers. I know a whole bunch of them. I have some on my foundation board that are fantastic. Real estate virtual assistants. So if you're in real estate and you're looking to get a little bit more work, people are not using these sites as much as they should. That's the only thing I'm going to say about this. I'm going to leave it alone after that, because honestly, I can go on all day. Look at this. And this was just one area that we clicked on. We clicked on administrative and a few other things. So it really is amazing. 312% increase in support capacity. I love this. Look at this. How independent talent helps top hatter increase its CSAT score by 30%. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And the cool thing also is, again, you can browse projects, you can browse all these different things, and you kind of choose as you go. And basically, You know, you just never know what's going to happen. And by the way, I don't have an account with them and I'm able to see all this stuff. Imagine once you log in and you create an account, what you can do with this site. And so it was funny because for a while there, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen with COVID. I don't know if it's going to work for us to do everything online. Thank goodness it is. It's been actually more work than we've had, you know, over the last 2 years put together in a short period of time because everything is so necessary and it's critical. But, you know, this is definitely something that I would look into if I needed to. So Upwork, it is. Check it out. We're going to go back to the slideshow really quickly.
So there's no fee involved?
I don't know if there's a fee involved. I think that there may be. It's not like TaskRabbit. It's a little bit different. And I think it depends on how or what the contract is like within the organization that they're working with. So you're going to have to take a look at that. And I would assume depending on, you know, the whole thing also is that sometimes one of the things that one of my students told me, they are not involved in this one. They're actually involved in the next slide over, which we're going to talk about as well. But what they said to me was once a company hires you and they really like you, they keep hiring you. So this is a very viable way to just continue to get contracts. And again, if you don't agree with what the compensation is, you don't have to take it. So as long as you're getting your compensation and you're getting a compensation that is reasonable for you and it's something that, you know, you're happy with, who cares if they're getting money? That's just the way that I see it. And of course, you guys can see it any way you like. So more gigs. So Freelancer, here's another one. So Freelancer, millions of people use Freelancer to turn their ideas into reality. Hire the best freelancers for any job. Again, the link is down the bottom there, so you can find that on our website as well. And let's talk about this. So sign up for project work in over 1,800 different categories. I don't know that I have enough time to go through 1,800 different categories. So let's talk about this for a second. This is what I noticed with Freelancer is that we thought that the last one, Upwork, broke things down. Freelancer breaks things down to such a granular level that, I mean, they are mini projects sometimes. Some of them are bigger projects, but they really do break it down to a granular level, which means that they're very particular about the different things. Like if you're doing data entry what? I mean, it's really fantastic. So again, you get to pick and choose things that you're happy with, things that you're excited about, things that you want to do. So we'll go through these real quick. Websites, IT and software. I know we have a few individuals that do this kind of work on the call tonight, mobile phones and computing. So here's another really cool thing. So let's say you are currently working and basically you're just looking to add to that. If you don't have a non-compete clause in your contract, or if maybe you just don't have a contract at all, you don't have anything like that, that restricts you from working in other areas. If you wanted to take on a freelance opportunity because you have the time to do so and make some extra money, you can do that here. Even educational, I mean, there's so many different things in here. So as I was saying before, writing and content, I know that my editor friend that, you know, asked me for, there we go. It's right there again. Design, media, architecture, data entry and administrative work, engineering and science, product sourcing and manufacturing. Again, the amount of skill sets. I mean, everybody on this call, I'm confident can find opportunities on Upwork, on Freelancer, and also on TaskRabbit. Without question, I'm sure you can find something that you would be happy with. Sales and marketing, freight, shipping, transportation, telecommunications, education, business accounting, HR, human resources, that is, legal, again, where are my lawyers out there, translation and languages, local jobs for services, among other opportunities. There is so much here. So we're going to go to their website also because their website was really magnificent too. There was just so much stuff. I couldn't believe it. I thought that Upwork was really good. When I went to Upwork, I was like, wow, check this out. And then, okay, so basically they give you like a little tutorial on how it works and how you earn money and how you can hire a freelancer, in your case, earn money. So need something done. These are the different things that you can do. What's great about it, they basically allow you to build a portfolio for yourself. And what they do is these are free quotes and fast bids, basically. So as it mentions right over here, you receive obligation free quotes from talented freelancers, and that would be you. Quality work, make it real, and look at this. Look at all these areas. This is, I can't move you guys over enough to show you everything, but there is work that they do in over 1,800 different categories. And each one of these has a breakdown, as I mentioned before, at a granular level of what it is that they can do, or what it is that, that basically you can do. So let's say we were going into research writing. Let's go into that for a second. So again, hire a research writer, or it's basically what it is that you want to do. And then it breaks everything down even more so once you create an account. So having an account definitely helps. But again, look at all this stuff here. They are very, very particular. HTML, web scraping, article writing, which is fantastic. I think that everyone here can pretty much, do something that is on here. Copywriting, Excel, marketing, content writing. This is pretty amazing. Does anyone use this website on the call? No?
No.
Will anyone use it now that they know about it?
Yes.
Perhaps. It's pretty cool, right? The fact that you have access to so many different, 1,800 skills. This definitely, I can say with confidence that I'm pretty sure, actually, I am confident every person on this call could find something that they're interested in on one of these sites. And look at this. We're not even anywhere. Look at that. Link building. Wow. So once you click on, look, here we go. This is what I was looking at yesterday, and I could not believe this. Look at this stuff. So for my IT folk, definitely not me. Look at all this stuff. I don't know what half of this stuff is, but you know what? I'm sure you do. Okay. So you could pick out what you're good at. You could pick out, look at this. These are all hyperlinked. Salesforce, I know what that is there, but in different areas, different things that you can do with it. SAP. This right here is just, here we go. Just IT. Now we go into mobile phone and computing, writing and content. Where's my editor friend? Editorial writing. There you go. It's right there for you. Okay. Again, and there's copywriting, and there's copy typing, copy editing, content writing. It is, isn't it amazing? They really do break it down to a granular level. There's so much. And here we go. Now design, media, and architecture, Photoshop design, Bootstrap. So again, look at all these things. Data entry and administrative. Phone support. Who's got a great phone voice? Anyone? I know. There we go. Yes. Oh, there we go. Okay. General office work, help desk. Some of this stuff really, it makes you wonder. Customer support, call center, it really is just amazing.
What was that? What you were talking about for people with the phone support? Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, phone support.
Wow.
Is that David?
Yes.
Do you see? Okay, you have a phone voice.
Okay.
Okay. Only kidding. I know you're in IT. So that's something that you guys can absolutely look into. We're at E. Engineering and science. I'm sorry. Look at this. Again, not an area that I would be particularly wonderful in. Maybe genealogy. But genetic, look at that. Look at this. Look. Genetic algorithms. Anyone? Any takers? Ladies and gentlemen, anyone? So heat load calculation. No idea what that is. It's on here. Yocto. I'm not sure what that is. Again.
Next week, I'll be on the call, say, Maria, thank you. I did a little genetic splicing to make a few ends meet last week.
That's okay. If you make money off of it, I'm happy to hear it. There we go. Okay. So product sourcing and manufacturing, sales and marketing. Where are my marketers out there? Look at this stuff. HubSpot marketing, payroll sales. I mean, I'm not sure how that has anything to do with marketing, but telemarketing, Twitter marketing, freight shipping and transportation. Again, now we're getting into like supply chain logistics, telecommunications, education. The way it's broken down is really interesting to me. Education, I love the fact that, again, they have all these different, how many teachers, tutors do we have out there? Absolutely. You're looking for work as a teacher, as an educator, start with this stuff right here. Start with this stuff right here. Start a little side hustle and make a little extra money. Why not? Business accounting, HR, and legal. Again, look at this. I mean, it is, anyway, they did say 1,800. We're not going to go through all 1,800. Hi, Wendy. Now I see you. I always see that bright background. So, so again, there is so many different things. I wonder if they have Greek in here. There we go. I could do that. I could do German. I could do Spanish. Where are we? English? Maybe. I don't know. Absolutely.
Maria, I have a question.
Yes, of course.
One of them, you said you set your own rates. Do you set your own rates for all of them, or do some of them?
No, that was TaskRabbit. So TaskRabbit is the one that you could do more local opportunities if you wanted to, or you could do other bigger contracting. What's happening with TaskRabbit is they're taking on more and more and more and bigger opportunities as well. So that was earlier on in the slides, and that's going to be on the website as well. So you can go back and look at that. Okay. I actually know a few people in your area that do TaskRabbit, and they just do it like occasionally, if their kids they're out or whatever, and they have an hour, they'll do something. They'll do a task. They'll run a task for someone. They go pick something up or whatever it is. I mean, some people don't want to use like Uber Eats. They want someone to physically just go get my food. I don't trust anybody. Go get my food, bring it, drop it off at my front door. And basically they pay you electronically. It's just amazing. It is the most.
Isn't that the same thing as DoorDash though, or any of those?
Yeah,
things?
But the thing is, you know what? They rather hire someone local within their community, because not always are, I guess maybe just don't feel comfortable using a bigger organization. They rather know or, hire someone local. So it could be anything. It could be anything. And the cool thing is, again, that's TaskRabbit. And again, they do allow you to set your own rates. But here's the thing also, even with this one here, so with Freelancer and also with Upwork, it's
Upwork.
the same situation when it comes to the money, because at the end of the day, they may quote and say, okay, well, this is what we're willing to pay. And you can very well turn around and say, not for me. Thank you. I need a little bit more to be able to do that. And I'm pretty sure that you'll find someone that wants to hire you. The great thing is, again, if they have all these little tiny niches in here, I'm confident that there is more than one opportunity that you can put yourself in for. So it really Yep.
I'm sorry. Do they have a range of what, they pay for different tasks, or no, you just put your dollar in?
So what happens is with this one is they put in a bid, and basically it depends on who, if they put in a bid, I guess you can put in your bid. Yeah, absolutely. And
like
so
eBay.
Exactly. So basically you could put in a bid, and again, you take a look at the, at the job and what it entails and how much work is really going to go into it. And then you put your bid in there, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, then, something wasn't meant to be. It could be an extraordinary amount of work, and they're just really cheap, and they don't want to pay you what it is that you need to get paid in order to commit that much time towards it. So, I mean, there's so many things. Again, you could just keep going. Look, other. So there is a lot of different things that you could do. Video game coaching. Seriously, I better not show this to my son. I'm not going to show that to my son. Woo! No way. Okay. So again, this is just.
I see one says anything goes.
Well, yeah, anything goes. Absolutely. Antiques.
I don't even know what that means.
I'm not sure. As long as it's legal, though, we're good. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to get back to the slideshow. Okay. So again, Freelancer is fantastic. There's their logo right there. The link is at the bottom here. So if you go to our website and just pull up this slideshow, you'll see it there. But again, 1,800 different categories. I'm confident everyone on this call can find an opportunity that they're really excited about. So now we're going to talk about something that I recently was thinking about redoing again. So let's talk about eBay for a moment. Do we have any eBayers, as they call, that's what I call them anyway, any eBayers out there? I know that there were a few people on the call that said that they wanted to just sell some stuff and they were using like Facebook local, and eBay has local as well. You could do that there. So when I first started ECNY, my company, it was such an abstract thought in my mind that, it wasn't like, just contracts are coming in just like that. So I had to do something to keep myself moving. And what did I do? I did eBay. I taught myself how to use eBay after seeing a presentation. I worked with Dress for Success for about 5 years. I was chairwoman towards the end of my time there. And I really loved the work that we were doing. And a lot of it was we had to help people that were either in protective custody or people that really could not leave their homes for particular reasons. And when I realized that with eBay, you can literally, you could work from home, do pretty much almost everything except for get your product, whatever your product is going to be, from home. You could do everything. I was like, I got to check this thing out because it doesn't sound like it's going to take that much effort and that much time. And honestly, the effort at the beginning was just learning the system. So I did start selling on eBay. And basically what I did really quick was when we moved into our home, we had so much stuff from the previous owner. She just left so much new stuff. And I was like, we're not going to use any of this stuff. It's brand new things. Like we had the very first thing I ever sold on eBay was it was a set of Buick hubcap covers. And I was like, we've never had a Buick, so I'm really not sure. I don't even think they make Buick. No, actually, they do make Buick. But anyway, what happened was I had these things. They were boxed. They were in perfect, brand new condition. And we found them in the garage. We found a whole bunch of stuff in the garage. And so I was like, I'm just going to put them up. So what I did was I first looked on eBay to see, guys, if you can mute yourself if there's noise in your background. I don't want to have to mute everyone. Thank you. So I said to myself, I was like, let me check out and see what else, what other people are selling theirs for. And what you want to try and do is you want to come in a little bit under. So anyway, I was looking at them and I was like, all right, I'm going to put them in for $75 a piece. And guess what? I sold them within like less than 24 hours. A person just bid the full amount and basically just said that they wanted them because it gives you an option of, like buy now, or you can set actually those settings. You can do buy now, or you can let the whole entire bidding process go through. And I was shocked completely. This guy was I think he was in Texas, the guy that purchased them. And I even wrote him like a little, oh, thank you for buying my stuff. This is like the first thing I saw. My husband's like, are you kidding me, writing a letter to these people? And I was like, no. I was like, this is like important to me. So I sold that. And I said to myself, I was like, wow, this is not that hard. So I found all this stuff in the house that we didn't want or need or anything. And it was pretty much most of it, well, actually all of it at the time was brand spanking new. I didn't know that you can sell slightly used, and we'll talk about that in a minute, items as well. But I have to tell you, it was the most amazing thing in the world. And so eBay actually saved me because it made me enough money to be able to continue with developing my company, spending enough time working on my company. But at the same time, the most amazing thing is when you get that little dinging sound on the app that something sold, it was so awesome. And it's fantastic because the money goes into your PayPal account and basically then you can transfer it over into your bank account. And yes, there are some fees involved, but check this out. So when I was doing eBay, it was 50 free listings. And so first of all, we'll go in order here. So it's easier than ever to list what you're selling and get it seen by people looking for it. The second thing is right here. This is what really blew my mind actually when I looked at this. I only created this PowerPoint yesterday. And I was pretty blown away because I went into my account and I was like, okay, cool. And then it said 200 items for free every single month. If they don't sell, you don't pay. So all you're really putting into it is sweat equity. This is your effort that you're putting into this. When I first started with eBay, it was 50 items for free. under $1. They had to be under $1. I was like, really? I was like, this is ridiculous. And so then it went to 100 free items. And as long as it was under $99, so I think that's what the asterisk is for, by the way, because I did get this off of their website. So as long as it's under $99, I believe that you only pay if it sells, which is fantastic. And that is for, I believe, a 7-day listing. So you can do a 7-day listing. You could do as soon as somebody bids, they can just buy it listing. You can do 10 days, but some of them do have a cost attached to them. So take the free one, try it out. It is fantastic. You do have seller protection. eBay is really good about that. I actually had this one person, I think it was a woman anyway, who bought twice from me and both times never paid. And of course, you don't ship anything until the money's in your account. It'll tell you when the money's in your account and you can ship. It'll actually tell you you're ready to ship your item, the money's in the account, whatever. So 2 times she did that. She cost me the listing and the time and the effort. And basically other people had also bid on it as well. And I would have taken the lesser money. It really wasn't about that because you put in what you want to get for it. So if my walkaway number is $9.99 and she bid at $9.99 and somebody else bid at $10.99 and then she bid at $11.99 and basically she was the last bidder, she would get it. She'd have to pay $11.99 for it. But the reality is you only put in there whatever it is your walkaway number is. In other words, what you have to get for the item or what you want to get for the item to let it go. But they were fantastic. eBay was really fantastic in getting involved. And what they did was they flagged this person because apparently she didn't only do it, or she or he or whatever it was, I have no idea, did it to me. They had done it to other individuals as well. So that was a really nice thing to know that, and what they did was they also gave me an extra listing because obviously that one was a waste. So that was really cool. They are very good about it. And the same thing with PayPal. PayPal is fantastic also. I don't know if any of you guys use PayPal. I do because I don't want any of my personal information on different sites that I buy from. So it's important to understand that. I mean, they work very well with PayPal. At one point, they were owned by the same organization, not anymore from what I'm told. There's over 183 million buyers from all over the world. It is the largest marketplace. I mean, it really is a fantastic way to just let things go. And I know that there's Let Go also, which is another one. I don't have any experience with Let Go, but personally, I really enjoyed eBay. I really liked it. I love the fact that they have eBay Local now as well, which makes it easy for you to pick things up, especially same day if you want to. So it's really, really cool. I chose to sell internationally. You can choose to only sell within the US, or you can choose like I did. And I sold to people in, oh my gosh, the Netherlands, Brazil, England, Australia. I mean, I sold to people all over the world. It was fantastic. I was not, I was open to anything and everything. And you do learn. Here's the other thing also. On the next slide, I'm going to talk to you guys about the whole shipping and all that stuff because a lot of people always get nervous with it. Do not worry about that. That is one of the easiest things. Once you get it down, I got to tell you, I'll tell you the story of what I did. But so right here, I have 20 tips for beginners selling on eBay. And again, you can take a look at this on the website. I'm not going to go through and read every single one. I will say this. Be very aware of, again, making sure that you're doing everything that you have to do to have your account set up the right way, to make sure that you're very honest about everything that you're putting out there. Do you need a camera, like a special camera or a filter? Absolutely not. You need good lighting and you need a white sheet, if anything, and you just put it up. I used to take all my pictures with my phone and it was the easiest thing in the world. I mean, I can't even, honestly, I think I probably did more business off of my phone than I did on the actual website. That's how great the app is. So if you do decide to do eBay and you're working off your computer, also download it, download the app on your phone, because here's one of the things that I will tell you. Check out your prices, check out your competition. Always check out the competition. That will help you in being more competitive when it comes to selling. And that was something that I absolutely loved. And I did see there was a question in the chat box. Does anybody want to just say what it is, or who pays for shipping on eBay? Great question. We're going to go into that in a second. And the really cool thing is there's a few different options there. So let's move on to the next slide. All right. So first of all, we will talk about the shipping question because it is at the bottom, but we'll talk about it anyway. So here's the thing about shipping. What I found with eBay, the best thing in the world to do is flat rate shipping. So I don't know if you remember those commercials, if it fits, it ships. They're not joking. You can physically take, I found out you could take a men's size 34 jeans or smaller, roll them up tight, and then put them in a flat rate shipping envelope that's made for paperwork. And as long as it is taped and it is sturdy, you can ship it that way. And it looks all deformed and crazy, but guess what? It's cheaper because it's a smaller package. So my advice is you go on to, you create an account with USPS, the United States Postal Service, and you ask them to send you a variety package of boxes, of their flat rate boxes. And what they do is they actually send you this like shrink wrapped set of boxes, and it's one of every single size of flat rate shipping. And they tell you how much each one is. And what I did was I actually wrote down the price in like a big marker on all the different sizes. So I knew exactly what the size was. So when it came time for me to post things, and this is where my question in the chat box will get answered, what you do is you see which box it has to be in. So, you know, I don't know if you guys order off of Amazon like I do, but I get a lot of shrink wrap and a lot of like bubble wrap and stuff like that and paper and stuff. Save all that stuff if you choose to do eBay because it is a great way to recycle, reuse all that stuff. And it's always clean. So that's a good thing too. But with the boxes and the shipping, what you can do is one of two things. If you get something for really, really, really inexpensive, if you choose to start buying to sell, which we're going to talk about that in a minute, what you can do is you can actually put the flat rate shipping price into the overall price. So you can say that the item, if flat rate shipping is, let's say $7 just for a whole number, and the item is, let's say, I don't know, $6 or $7, say $7, and that's how much you got it for, but you want to sell it for a little bit more. Maybe you double that, you add the $7 into it. As long as you're still below the selling price or even with the selling price of other sellers, you can now say it's X amount of dollars free shipping. And believe it or not, people don't even realize that sometimes, like, oh, well, this one is free shipping. Yeah, but the other one was cheaper. But people sometimes don't see that. They just look for things that are free shipping. So basically the seller can choose to take that flat rate shipping price and put it into their, you know, asking price, or you can have them pay for it. You can say, okay, this is how much the item is. The item is $14 and $7 for shipping. Or you could just add that money right into it and just ask for the total amount, no shipping costs. So that's something that I used to do all the time. And, you know, as you find cheaper and cheaper items, and I actually have a few tips on where you can find great stuff. And I could tell you some of the things that I was able to sell and made a lot of money on too. So here's the cool thing about it. eBay doesn't, just like with Facebook local or, you know, and I guess Craigslist and a whole bunch of other things, items do not have to be brand spanking new. Items can be old. I like to collect coins and I like to collect old books. And so I've bought, I mean, some of the most amazing things, and some of them, it was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I definitely want this. And it was, I can't remember what one of the books that I bought, one of the last things that I bought was just the most amazing thing in the world. It was like a second edition copy of this. I can't remember which book it was. Oh my goodness, I have so many. But anyway, it was just amazing. And it was funny because it was so cheap and flat rate shipping. And I actually asked the guy, the seller, a question. I said, are you sure? I said, this is second edition, blah, 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 this and that. Because he showed the pictures and really close. It said second edition, the whole thing. And he said to me, he goes, no, he's like, you know, I really don't care. He's like, it doesn't mean anything to me. I bought this house. I found stuff in the attic. He's like, I just want to get rid of all this garbage. I was like, it's not garbage. He was like, no, I don't care. All right. So I purchased it. But here's another thing you could do. For those of you that have children who are growing out of their clothes because they're growing like weeds, and I know exactly what that's like, you can actually bundle their clothing. And what bundles are really, really cool. So people, especially going back to school, people are doing this more and more. And especially for younger children, you know, they're growing out of their clothes so quickly. And I know that with my son, we had like always so many clothes and he wouldn't wear half of them. So half of them were like brand new. Others are very lightly, slightly worn. And what you could do is you could do like 4 shirts, 2 pairs of pants and a baseball cap or whatever it is, or a pair of shoes, size, whatever. And you could sell them as a bundle. And instead of donating them, you can just sell them. And so, and you, again, you choose your price, you choose whatever it is that you want to do. Or it could be like a little dress outfit. It could be like a little, you know, little overcoat, like jacket. It could be like a little button down shirt on the inside. It could be a pair of khaki pants or, you know, little dress pants, size 8. And it comes with a size 8 belt. And basically you can sell it as a bundle. So bundles are huge on eBay, huge. And I've made a lot of money off bundles too, because I'm going to skip over dollar stores really quick. And I'm going to go to Michael's Arts and Crafts. I want to tell you a story about that. So one of the things that I had done was once I sold everything in the house that we didn't want, before I started selling things that we did want, I decided to try and figure out what can I sell. So one day I had gone into Michael's Arts and Crafts and I noticed there was this table up front and it had all these like massive bags, these Michael's bags, jam-packed with stuff. And they were called goodie bags. And I was like, what in the world are these? And they were $2 a piece. They were stuffed. I mean, they had so much stuff in them. And basically it was stuff that they just had to get rid of. So instead of marking it out of stock or whatever, they were just selling the bags for $2, probably taking, you know, the hit on whatever it was and just writing it off. And they were stuffed with so much great stuff. I bought $100 worth of goodie bags and I made probably closer to $3,400 off of that stuff. And the way that I did it was I went through every single, I remember I was on the kitchen table and my husband was like, oh my God, what did you buy? And I took everything out of the bags and I put all of the, there were, what's it called? There were little knobs. They were ceramic knobs and they all had different designs on them. So I bundled them up into like groupings of 4. And basically I put them all in one area. And the groupings of 4, basically, again, you're buying a massive bag of this stuff for $2. Really, honestly, with my first sale, I paid off like the whole entire thing. The other thing was scrapbooking. There were so many scrapbooking items. I just started bundling them together, selling them as a bundle. And it was just the most amazing thing. So that was one of the things that I had done. The other thing, we're going to go back to dollar stores really quick before we go into other stuff. So when you're first starting out, again, you want to go through stuff in your house. Get rid of stuff in your house, learn how to use the system, learn how to use flat rate shipping, start feeling comfortable with how you're going to get paid, and please make sure you're taking good, clear pictures of your items and in multiple ways. So before we get into clothing, we're going to talk about dollar store stuff. I will tell you that there are not, dollar stores are not everywhere. I've gone to states where there was like not a single dollar store in sight. And I would say to them, like, I just want to stop by a dollar store really quick and pick up like something like a toothbrush or whatever. And they're like, a what? And I'm like, a dollar store? And they're like, I have no idea what that is. I was like, okay, forget it. 99-cent store, perhaps? I don't know. Does that ring a bell? No. So it was really interesting because in other countries, and I've lived in other countries too, so I can speak very intelligently when it comes to this. They don't have this stuff either. Some places have them just called different things, but not as cheap as what we have here in the US. So one of the things that I started doing was I started to go to the dollar store and just check things out. And if I found something that was really pretty or really didn't look cheapy, I would buy it and I would bundle it. Like one of the things I had done was I found these beautiful green votive candle holders. I actually bought them for our backyard. And then I decided, let me see if they'll sell. So I took them. They were 80 cents for 2. They weren't even $1. So 80 cents for 2. So I bought a set of 4. I sold them for $8.99 for the set plus flat rate shipping. The gentleman that bought them reached out to me. He said, I have 4. I need more. And I said, well, how many do you need? He said, I need 50 total. And I was like, 50? And he said, yeah, 50. He's like, do you think that your distributor can handle that? And I was like, let me talk to them. I hit up every Dollar King or whatever it's called. I think it was Dollar General or something like that in Suffolk County, but I got him his 50 and I made a ton of money off of that because he paid for flat rate shipping in a big box, wrapped them all up, did the whole thing. He even sent me pictures of the event that he did and he had them around the pool. It was amazing. But the reality is that this guy lives in New York City and he has access to all these different places, but he chose to buy my votive candle holders. Never underestimate what it is that you can find. And you know what it is also? It's how you take really pretty pictures. Like what I did was I had one lit and then I had the other ones around it. And it was at nighttime and it was really pretty and it's so simple. I mean, really, it doesn't take a lot of effort to take pretty pictures. You can just do it very easily. So I did that. And so dollar stores, let me tell you, they can be very, very lucrative, very lucrative. So when you first start buying cheap. Don't buy expensive things, buy cheap and basically make it work. And again, take a look and see your competitors, people that are selling similar items. What is the cost? What is it costing them? You know, how much are they selling it for? Are they including the shipping? Are they not including the shipping? Does it fit in a smaller flat rate ship box? You know, get to know that stuff. Oh, and FYI, all these boxes and stuff, the boxes are 100% free from USPS. So at one point I had hundreds of boxes in the garage and unfortunately, I don't know how they got wet, but it was not a good situation. So I use them as kindling. But, you know, at the end of this, I got to tell you something. It's the best thing that I had ever done. So eBay was very lucrative for me. So as you're getting more and more comfortable selling, you know, cheaper things and you're becoming more savvy with how to market them and how to talk about them, then you can start going to places like, you know, Staples, Burlington Coat Factory, Home Depot, TJ Maxx. I will tell you.
TJ Maxx, great.
Oh my God. I made a killing off of TJ Maxx and Marshalls because I know a lot about that industry. I actually worked for their corporate office, for their corporate company, the TJX companies basically. And so I know when they take their markdowns and I know basically when they take their second and third and all the markdowns basically to the very end. And so one of the things I did was I became friendly with all of the TJ Maxx managers in the area and they would let me know when their markdowns are being taken. And I also kept an eye out for designer stuff and what people were selling it for. And I started buying designer stuff. And I got to tell you something. I mean, at one point I would buy a pair of like Guess jeans for like $20 and I'd sell them for over 110 because that's what they were going for. So you have the ability to start making some serious cash. Maybe what's it called is not your thing. The clothing thing is not your thing. Maybe Home Depot. Maybe you're more of, you know, like an individual that maybe that's more your style. Maybe that's more about what you know. I will tell you right now, again, you can make a lot of money off it. Staples. I would do little color blocks as I call them. And it was little bundles of things that were similar colors and basically just bundle them up. So it could have been pens and it could have been some like little Post-its or whatever it was. It was a nice gift for a teacher, whatever it was. And I would put them together as a bundle. And the whole thing is also with eBay, it's how you explain or how you write about what it is that you're selling. So like when it came to the clothing, I would say this, you know, if you put this on with a white blouse and a pair of boots, you're perfect. You know, it's perfect for a great Friday night out or like something like that. Keep it exciting, put great titles in there, exciting titles, things that's going to grab people's attention. Make sure your pictures look good too. You know, nice clear backgrounds, not too much busyness, clean areas, please. One of the things I also used to do was sometimes I used to take one of the pictures off the wall and put the item on the wall, take the picture just like that. If it was something that looked good on a hanger, absolutely. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. But I will tell you that all these stores over here, they're all viable. There are definitely places where you can find some amazing things. You know, I mentioned Staples before, without question. I got to tell you something, a lot of great stuff. Michael's Arts and Crafts, I definitely made a lot of money off of their goodie bags. And then the majority of the money that I made when I really started making good money was buying clothing, was Burlington, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. Basically, those were the stores that I made a lot of money off of because they do have designer stuff. And you know what? If it's cheap enough, it doesn't matter. the designer, like I always say, if the designer was right, I didn't care what size it was. Somebody out there is a good fit. I'm not buying it for me. I'm buying it to sell. So if you find something, you're like, oh, it's a size 2. Well, I'm not a size 2, but you know what? Doesn't matter if it's Ralph Lauren, if it's Guess, if it's a designer item, you buy it. And that was one of the things that I just lived by. I would take a look and see, and if it was cheap enough or if it made sense, look to see online. The app is fantastic. The phone app is really very, very cool. So definitely use that to look up other people that are selling or other items. Just put in the name of the item, put in exactly what it is, and a whole bunch of them will pop up. And you'll start to see the prices. And everybody's trying to outdo everybody else. But if you can get it cheap enough, you could definitely be competitive. I was definitely very competitive with mine, with the flat rate shipping and everything else. And especially understanding that with flat rate shipping, again, if it fits, it ships, and it doesn't matter what you do with the box. It could be all deformed and crazy, but if it fits, it would ship.
What about the weight of the product in the flat rate box?
They never had a problem with that. I never had to pay anything extra. If it fits, it ships. So basically, there was nothing in there. Whatever it was that you put in there, if it fit, it didn't matter if it was lead. They would just ship it. They didn't care.
Dumbbells in there, and they'll mail them for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was the rule. If it fits, it ships. And I sold a few things that were pretty heavy too, that were glass or what have you, glass beads, stuff like that. And I never had a problem with it. Their rule was exactly that. If it fits, it ships. It didn't matter how heavy it was. And again, flat rate shipping boxes go to, from like the envelope, the flat rate envelope, to smaller. I think they're like 4x4, a little bigger. And the biggest one really wasn't that huge. But still, they never, shipping was never a problem, no matter what I had in there. Because I always used to ask them, like, okay, do we need to weigh it? And they're like, what are you talking about? And here's a really cool story also. I remember this is when I was first learning about eBay. And I went to the post office to ask questions because I was like, all right, I have all these boxes. I was like, can you tell me exactly? I want to know exactly how much each one is to ship. And I would put down the prices, as I mentioned before, with a marker, just so that I knew what size fit what. And I asked them all these questions. And this gentleman that was standing behind me actually turned out to be one of the only brick and mortar eBay sellers in New York. He had started with eBay from like earlier on selling automotive parts. And he and I spent almost 2 hours in the parking lot talking about all this eBay stuff. And he became like my eBay go-to guy. I used to text him for all these different things, but it's just, you never know. Just talk to people and great things happen. So a few tips. Yes.
As far as taking good pictures, which people tell me it's a really important part.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned something called a light sheet or something to that effect?
A white sheet, just like a white sheet behind it. Yeah, no, absolutely. So in the summertime, I would take, because I also inherited this company that used to be on top of one of my offices at one point. They used to create jewelry, like, it was just costume jewelry, but they had so many beautiful beads and stuff. And when they decided to leave, I was on vacation and I came back and I found I think it was like 7 or 8 massive bags of beads and all these like jewelry making things and on my door. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I ended up selling a lot of that stuff, but I also made stuff. I will tell you, outside by the pool, perfect place. Perfect place. It was just fantastic. So anywhere where it's a clear outdoor, like I have like a little rounded, cement like bench at the end of my pool, I would put stuff right on that. It's white, it's clean, it's organized, and I would do it in a way where I got the pool in the background. It was fantastic. Or again, a white sheet, just drape it over like a sofa or something, and just very nicely, if you have to put a box behind it to keep everything up, you do that. If you have to pin the item, without being able to see the pins, then do it. But a white sheet always works also because it really shows what the item is. If you are selling something, here's another thing I will say. If you are selling something that has any kind of a defect, take a picture of the defect and share that information. You'll still sell it. There will always be someone out there. As a matter of fact, I sold a pair of, they were $349 shoes. I had gotten them for, I think it was like $40 at Marshall's, and they were not my size, unfortunately. But anyway, what I did was I actually took a picture. There was a tiny piece. They had wooden heels. It was a tiny piece just like scraped out or just like chipped out. And anyone that knows with that little, what is that, that wood filler, you put that wood filler in there, it would fill everything, but I wasn't going to start trying to fix anything. So I was very honest about it. And I even took off a little bit more money and basically sold them for still over $140 because they were very expensive shoes. And what would it cost for that stuff? I looked it up. It costs about $9 to buy that filler. And that's pretty much it. I even told people, I said it costs on average at Home Depot this much to buy the filler. So you have yourself a $350 pair of shoes for less than half the price. So it's pretty cool. All these different things. Just be honest about what it is you're selling. Don't try and scam anybody because eBay will block you. They will block you. They will flag you. Not a good thing. You don't want to be flagged. Tips, start with selling cheaper items. We talked about this. Compare your price on the phone app before you buy it. It's always good if you're going shopping that you have that. Use flat rate shipping and online app to order boxes. Here's the cool thing. You can also print shipping labels. Yes, you can. You can print them from home, especially because they're flat rate shipped. It's awesome. You don't even need a weighing station. That was my biggest concern. Do I need to buy a scale to weigh things? Nope, nothing. With flat rate shipping. It basically ships. And you can do that, which is fantastic. And the other thing also is you can arrange a free pickup from your front door. Yes, as long as you put it in before 1 a.m., it'll pick up the next day. So that's pretty cool also. So you just, through your USPS account where you're ordering your flat rate shipping boxes, by the way, they get delivered free to your house. That is a fantastic way to be able to do that. So you can print your labels, you can put it out there, you can put it on the front doorstep, and you can have somebody come pick it up. And many people have rings just like I do, and we can see what's going on. So very, very cool. And use PayPal to get paid. And it's so easy. It really is so easy. And when you hear that little cha-ching, it is so awesome because that means you just made money. So that's something to think about as well. So very easy. Let me check the chat really quick and see what's going on. I was just curious, at what point do you think it's okay to give out your number to direct sell and make it more of a white glove service, personal touch, premium customer service, same product just from you? So let me see if you want to promote when the guy, when you mentioned. Okay, so basically what happens is that you get everything through, it's almost like LinkedIn's InMail for those of you that know LinkedIn. So eBay has the same system. It's all through their InMail and then their InMail system. And then what happens is whatever email address you have connected to your eBay account, it comes directly to that. And then basically, so you communicate through eBay and it stays confidential. When do you open up? You know what? You can open up whenever you want. The reality is though, do you really want people, calling you about this stuff instead of emailing? And I'll tell you why. I had this woman, every time I would post anything Ralph Lauren, she would always try and lowball me on the price. And it got to the point where I just stopped responding. Like I wouldn't even respond back to her email. And they send it several times so that you make sure that you can see it. And basically I was like, no, absolutely not. And then what happened was I actually did contact eBay and I told them, do me a favor. I was like, this person is doing X, Y, and Z. And I was like, enough of this. I was like, flag them. And I guess they did some research and she wasn't just doing it with me. What she would do is she would actually bid on the items and then not want to pay for them. And then after that, she'd be like, oh, I'll give you this much for it. And she'd like try and lowball you. So when you report people like that, eBay takes it seriously because they don't want unhappy sellers. The world today with so many different sites to sell on, they don't want to lose people. They don't want to lose clients. So, and, they do make a percentage, but, the cool thing is, so here's the thing that you should understand. eBay makes a percentage, a very small percentage, and so does PayPal. So anything that goes through PayPal, there is a small percentage. What that percentage is exactly, I don't know. It's something that you're going to have to take a look at when you create your account again, because things have changed a great deal since I used eBay the last time. But I will tell you that it's still completely worth it. It's still absolutely worth it. Still lots of great information, lots of great stuff. And, they really do. The fact that you can do all of this, especially if you have stuff at home that you want to get rid of, or if you want to bundle things up or whatever it is, the great thing is that this is something that you can do in the middle of the winter when it's like snowing like crazy outside. You can still do all of this and make money. And so this is a fantastic thing. The other thing I can say about eBay is that once you get into the rhythm of doing it, it's so quick. Everything is so fast that you don't really have to worry about this. This is like the best side hustle on the face of the earth to me anyway. And the reason I say that is because you do it when you want to do this. You know, you can say every Saturday I'm going to post one item. That's it. I'm not going to spend any more time and take a quick picture, quick, you know, like description, write it out, put it up, and that's it. You could do 1 or 2 items a weekend, and there you go. Your side hustle is right there, and it's supporting you, and it's continuing to give you that little extra cash that you might want. So eBay, out of all of this stuff, I think is the lowest. It really is about sweat equity. It really is about what you put into it, you're going to get out of it with eBay. And I think with all of this stuff, honestly, but with eBay, I like the fact that it's not as, you know, it's not like a contract where you have to get a job done. It's whenever you want to sell things. And so that's something that I would definitely think about, but I definitely love it.
Maria, you can, like Craigslist, I'm gathering, you can kind of remain anonymous in terms of even
you choose. Yep. So you choose a name, basically. You choose a name for your site, or kind of almost like a user handle. Okay. And basically you have that on there. So I can't even remember what mine was. I haven't used it in so long. Mine was Chow Knockout or Chow KO. And 2010, I think that was when I started doing it, 2010. So that's, and you know, it's really very cool. It really is so simple. Once you get to know the system, it's fantastic. And eBay really does have your back, and PayPal's fantastic too. If something, I mean, if something, you know, like if something bounces, for example, they'll notify you, like they'll tell you not to send it. So eBay and PayPal both notify you when it's okay to send the item to the person that purchased it, because just because they want to bid doesn't mean they're going to pay for it. And I saw that firsthand with a couple of people that decided that, you know, either they didn't want it or they didn't want to pay for it or whatever the case may be. And they wouldn't respond or reply. Well, you know what? That's where eBay and their rules and regulations and everything comes into play. And if you do that enough, they flag you. And so you can't bid anymore. So
thank you for pointing that out. I was under the impression it was the other way around. So you're straightening me out on that. I thought you had to send it, sort of had to be in the process of being sent before you got paid.
No. Mm-mm. No.
Okay, good.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, no, because can you imagine the disaster that would be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. So they would have to be like, you know, getting a skip tracer or somebody involved. No, not a good thing. Okay. So with that being said, that is eBay. So additional side hustle resources, and these over here are just different websites that I found that had great information that you can check out. 100 side hustles that are trending in 2021, the 25 side hustle apps, the 12 best side hustle jobs in 2021 you can start earning with now that are very, very quick, the 9 best side hustles for 2021. Everybody's got their own idea of which the best ones are, but you know what? My job is to give you as much information and as many resources as possible. And I also included in there the best books on side hustles, which is really cool. You should check that out because it has a lot of very unique ideas. And I think that's what you really want to go after. Some unique ideas and some things that, you know, you enjoy and that you love and that you can kind of do whenever you want to do. And there is no downside. I love this quote. I actually read this in Forbes and I was trying to find it and then I finally did. There is no downside to a side hustle. There are only benefits to building more than one source of income. A side hustle is the new job security. It is absolutely the wave of the future to me. You know, it's funny because with everything that we do, it's almost like we have side hustles all over the place. You know, when ECNY first started, we placed senior executives. That's all we did. Then what we started doing was we started doing consulting, LinkedIn consulting, resume writing. We started doing all these different things. And that's the key. The key is to have a lot of different things going on or being able to do a lot of different things, being open to these things. And no one said you had to do them forever, but to have a side hustle is fantastic. So now go get your side hustle on.